Hi, everyone. It's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so happy to have you with us for this YouTube premiere. I believe it's Thursday, October the 7th. Yeah, October the 7th. Cannot believe we're already in October. If you are here at 6 p.m. Central Time on October the 7th, be sure you log into your Google account so that we can chat live. And love for you to say hello and let us know where you're watching from. And if it's your first time here, welcome. Please give our channel a subscribe. And if you enjoy the videos, hit the thumbs up for the like button. I would really appreciate it. So I'm so happy to be here tonight. I'm going to be sharing a really pretty Christmas card. I think it has two easy techniques on it. You probably already know these techniques, but maybe not in the way I'm using them and in the colors that I'm using one of them in. This is a Christmas card, and I'm using some of the Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper. And one of the colors in that paper is polished pink. And so that's kind of like the feel of the card tonight, and you're going to see that in just a minute. So hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you if you're watching the recording, which will remain here on YouTube and also be on my blog soon. So you can comment after the live premiere or while it's going on, and I'd love to chat with you. So let me go ahead and point the camera down, and we'll get started. Okay, first of all, last premiere, I did a random drawing for those that commented during the premiere at 6 p.m. Central a week ago. And Jackie Boder, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name, but she was the winner of the random draw. And I will say, if for some reason, Jackie, you're not in the U.S., I can send you something, a finished project instead of a product. I'm not able to send these outside of the U.S. borders or territories, okay? So Jackie, if you'll get in touch with me, you can send me a message here on YouTube or email me at lisa@inkandinspirations.com, okay? All right, so let's take a look at some of the product we're using tonight. I have, let me get the stamp set. The stamp set we're using is this beautiful Angels of Peace. It's got some sentiments that can be used for Christmas, but also if you are just going to send a card to someone and tell them you're an angel and use one of these beautiful images, that would be great too. Okay. And so, but tonight I'm making it a Christmas card. I'm using this darling little angel right here. And I mentioned that I'm using the Whimsy and Wonder. So let me find that. And here is this beautiful paper here. And of course, I mentioned polished pink, and I'm using that. So can't wait to show you. And then our technique will be using these Adorning Designs decorative masks and some shimmery white embossing paste. So let me show you those masks. I have them right here. There's a little scallop mask pattern there, a little dot, I guess you would call that. It's like a little diamond shape, a stripe, and I've used this on a Christmas card. And then tonight I'll be using the snowflakes. Now, what I'd like to say first off, when you are doing a project with a technique like this is something you would have to do ahead of time, like do several embossing of your paper where it has time enough to dry. I let mine dry overnight. I don't know that it would take that long. I know that it does it, and you could probably speed it up with your heat tool, but it really has a beautiful effect. We have the shimmering embossing paste, no, the embossing paste in shimmery white and then just plain white. The shimmery white at this recording may be on back order right now, but we're supposed to be getting some in the Stampin' Up! Warehouse soon. So go ahead and put that on your order because it is beautiful. So here is our card. So you see that beautiful embossing there. And then the other little technique are these little flecks over here. And I have seen this many times, and I used to try it with my Stampin' Right markers, but I did it with my Stampin' blends, and it has a beautiful effect. Really makes a difference in just having that piece of basic white there. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. But isn't that a sweet card? Okay. And tonight's random drawing winner will be receiving one of these cards. Okay. All right. So let me get started with the embossing, and then we're going to set it aside. And I have a finished piece that I will be using on the card tonight. So I suggest that you get some scrap paper and put it down on your work surface. I don't want to have to change my grid sheet in the middle of the video, so I'm just going to set this down. And I cut my piece of paper, cardstock or designer paper, a little larger than I'm going to need it, okay? And so this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'll show you later how I'll be cutting it down. So I love this side with this just a gentle pattern, but look at this too. Look at that holly. Isn't that beautiful? But let's get started with our embossing, and then I can set that aside. And I will tell you, with embossing paste, let me show you. Here it is in the annual catalog, okay? So we have the matte finish and the shimmery white finish, okay? And we have these lovely palette knives that I have 3 sets of, but they are in the studio in Texas, not in the Missouri studio. So I had to scrounge around and find something to use. I'm going to use an old gift card, okay, to try to spread it on there. You can use a plastic spoon or knife. The palettes are best because it gives you a little bit more control over your spread. So I'm going to take my snowflake mask, and I'm going to center that, just position it where I get some of those large snowflakes on there. Okay. And then I'm going to take some Post-it tape and tape it down a little bit just to keep it from juggling around while I'm working with it. So has anyone worked with the embossing paste before? I had. It's been a while, but not with the shimmery, and it's really pretty. Okay. I mean, it's got the glitter in it. I know some people don't do well with glitter, but this is gorgeous. Okay, so let me peel off my little seal there. And you can see I've used quite a bit of it. So I'm going to have that down there. It's taped down so it doesn't move. And I'm going to get some of this out and start spreading it. And you can be pretty generous with it, and then scrape up the excess and put it back in your jar, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I'm getting too much, because you're not. It'll always work. And I will say the palette knives do work much better. Look at all that extra on there that I don't need. I'll have to really scrape that off. Okay, so getting that on there, trying to cover that whole piece of designer paper underneath there. And so what I'll do here is I will, after I've gotten this covered well, I will go ahead and lift the mask off, and I'll probably just rinse it off or wipe it off real quick, because this does dry fairly quickly, and I don't want it to stick to my mask, because I want it to be usable over and over again. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, so now I'm going to scrape off some of this excess. Again, the palette knives are much better. And now I'm scraping off the excess. And you would do the same technique with your palette knife. Okay, and I see some here I can pick up. It's not as easy to scrape up off of paper. Okay, so look at all of that goodness that I can save for next time. Okay, I'll set that aside. And oops, that's not good, but it didn't mess anything up. I need to get some of this in. Inside the jar. Okay, there we go. I'm going to leave that little paper out before I make a mess with it. Okay, so now I'm going to take up my tape and put it on this scrap paper. And do the same here. And then I'm just going to lift up gently. And I catch the paper underneath. And there we go. And that is so pretty. It looks like I got some paper or something underneath there, but that's going to be fine. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now let me run and go put this where it won't make a mess. And while I'm rinsing off my mask, let's see, since we're just coming off of World Card Making Day, I'd like to know how many cards would you say that you make in a week's time? Okay, just a general. Okay, did you answer? Just curious. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside and let that dry, and I'll use that on a different card later. And meanwhile, let's get our pieces out, and I can show you my finished embossed piece that's dry. Okay, here it is. Look at that shimmery. The more it dries, the more it sparkles on this. But I will tell you, the matte embossing paste is just as pretty. It just doesn't sparkle, but you can see that texture. So I want to cut this down to 3.5 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. And I believe I already have this at 5 1/4, but I'm going to double check it. Let's see. Yep. So 3.5. Okay, I think I'm going to cut off this end. Let me go 3.5, line that up. Okay, there we go. And that's the piece I need for my card front. All right, next, I am going to start with a piece of thick, basic white cardstock. And it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. Okay. Then I have a piece of, I'm looking for my finished card somewhere. A piece of basic white cut 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and we're going to do that other technique there to that. Here's my card. And you want to have nothing else that you're going to put on this card close to it, because it has a kind of a splattered look, and I need another light maybe. There we go. Okay, and so I'm going to take the lid off, and I was looking for something to protect my work surface, but I'm going to take this off. This is polished, dark polished pink, and watch. Isn't that fun? It is so much fun. And, I've done this before. It's not a new technique. And I'm sure you're saying, oh, I've done that. But I have not done it with my blends. And it is so cool. Look at that. And it dries so quick. So I'll have to clean later to make sure I don't have any of that all over my surface area here. So now I have that piece with that one technique, and that is going to go over top. But first, I need to give this a good crease with my bone folder. Our thick, basic white cardstock makes great card bases. Okay, and then this is just regular basic white, and that is going to go over top of the base there. So did you put how many cards you make in a week? I asked that in a class I was having the other day, and there were varying amounts. And you kind of go in spurts with card making with me, as far as, I'll make a card or several, say 4, and then I'll record the videos or for all of them, and then I'll make some more. So I kind of go in spurts like that. I batch what I have to do. Okay, this goes here, and this is going to all the way to the right of that edge of that basic white layer I just put on. So you can see I wanted to concentrate my little spackles right there on this left-hand side. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this down. Get that in dimensional paper. Find those everywhere. And we're going to get this put down. Line that up, and look how pretty that is. So pretty. And some of it's going to be covered up, but that's okay. All right. So next, I want to show you I have another piece of that designer paper in a different print. It's cut 1 by 3. It's the snowflake with that metallic. See it? Isn't that pretty? And I wanted it a little deeper. This is like Blushing Bride, I believe. But I wanted a deeper tone, and I wanted to bring some of that polished pink in. So I'm going to get another piece of scrap paper. And just about half of this piece is going to show. We're using it like an accent strip. And so I've got one of my blending brushes and my polished pink ink, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to sponge over this designer paper. This is another technique, but it's just easy sponging. It's some things, I know that I'll see other crafters try things, and I'm thinking, that's really cool. I've never tried that. So I'm hoping that you get some ideas from my videos. Be sure you subscribe. I have hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm getting this. See how pretty that looks? Gosh, love it. And the metallic still shines through. Okay, it's almost like an embossed resist with that metallic. See that? Okay. That we set aside because we're going to do our main image first. I just wanted to get that ink over with there. And I'm going to close this up and get this out of the way. And now we're going to work on our main image. And for that, I chose my favorite scallop contour dies. And these are in the annual catalog. I love these. I use them all the time. I used this one right here. Okay. To cut that out for our little angel. And I put 4 by 5 because that's about how big a piece of basic white that I start with. Okay. All right. So now I have this little angel and my Memento black ink. And I was hesitant to use black at first because I thought, oh, that's too harsh. But it really makes her show up well. Okay. And after I get her colored, after I got her colored, I thought, oh, I like it. It's fine. So I'm going to put her closer to the top, closer to that top stitching than the bottom. Okay. She's not touching it, but the sentiment is going to be toward the bottom on another piece. Okay. All right. So let's color her. I'm using polished pink and the light polished pink, and I'm just doing an easy color. I love coloring with these blends. I need to just stamp a lot of images on like die cuts like this that I know I'm going to use. And just, I mean, I could do that while I was watching TV, right? Does anybody do that? Sit and do any kind of coloring while you're watching TV? No, Jackie's inside. He's watching football. Dallas Cowboys were playing, so he was watching them. And I thought he was going to go fishing. He said, I'm going to go fishing. So we're expecting, at the time of this recording, Mia, our granddaughter, and my daughter Kristen, her husband John, are here visiting. So, okay, look how cute she looks. Okay, so what I did here to add some shading or highlights, I should say not shading, highlights, is I took my color lifter. Do any of you ever use this color lifter? It is fun, but I will say you don't know all of the effect or the true effect of it until it dries. Okay, so do a little bit and then go back later and do more. And what it does, exactly what it says, the name, color lifter. So I'm doing some little strokes right here, like there's light shining down on her dress there, and right here on her knee, because that's in front. And then right here. And then I'm going to do her sleeve a little bit, and you'll see in a minute what it does. You see how it's already getting light? See that? So I see where I've got to kind of even out my brush strokes. Okay, and it just, you can't mess it up really. You just, I didn't want to take off too much of my color. Okay, all right. So then, and I'm going to use that again in a minute. I'm going to take my, oh, this lid was off of my crumb cake. Ivory. Our skin tones are ivory and bronze, and they come in the pack together. And I'm going to do her face and her little hands and arms. And I wanted to lighten that up a little bit against that polished pink. So I'm taking this and I'm the color lifter, and I'm just going all over that. It just depends on what color skin tone that you want for the particular subject that you have. Okay. All right. So there she is there. Now I'm going to take the dark polished pink and do the berries, and I'm just dot, 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 and then I'm coloring these little flowers. And I should have done the leaves first because I always end up having too much pink. Okay, so the green in this paper, designer paper collection, is mint macaron. I believe it is. And I'm using that for like her wreath, the greenery in her wreath there. I say wreath. What do you call that? A little crown of flowers. Okay, so now I'm doing her hair in light crumb cake. This is kind of like Mia's hair. I'm coloring it like Mia. I need to do a long, there's a long hair one I could do for Lila. Mia's hair is long too, but okay, see there? Now let me get that dark crumb mint macaron again and come in here and do these ivy leaves. Okay. Now I'm going to take my pool party, light pool party, and do a little shading here on the wings. Just a little bit, just barely. Okay. Then I'm going to go around her whole image and just give her an outline. And it just makes the image pop. Okay. You see how it makes her stand out? I've shown this before. This is another easy technique, but it really makes a difference in your image. Okay. Then I had to give her some sparkle. So our trusty Wink of Stella. Okay. So she's ready. I think I put her up a little higher than I did on the original, but see how pretty that looks against this pink here? All right, so now this piece that we did earlier is going to go right here. It's just kind of an accent strip to stand out against this. And so, nope, put it on the front side here, on this side that you did not ink up, and kind of center it on these scallops here on the right side. Okay, she's going to go like that. And I'm probably going to go ahead and glue her down. But first, and I'm glad I waited, we have these beautiful snowflakes. And did you know you can color these too with your Stampin' blends? But I want in this iridescent color. It's going to go behind there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. On this side, I can kind of be a little more generous with the glue because it's not going to show underneath that angel like that. Okay, so that's okay. I'm kind of going equidistant from top and bottom there. And for the sentiment, I stamped on polished pink in Versamark and embossed in white this Peace on Earth, Goodwill Toward Men. And to punch it out, I used the Label Me Fancy punch. Okay, so there's that. And I cut this at 1.5 by 4, so I'd have plenty of room to hold it and punch it after I embossed it. Okay, so that's going to go here. And there's going to be some ribbon underneath there. This is that Blushing Bride frayed grosgrain, I believe it's called. And I'm going to, let's see, need some glue dots. And somewhere is my Take Your Pick tool. But who knows? It's probably right in front of my nose. Okay, glue dot. I'm going to fold this over like this. Let's see. I'm going to use 6 inches and cut it. Okay. And then let's fold that in half. And Oh, there's already a glue dot on there. So what I do is I fold it in half, and I want these two ends spread apart like that. So I'm going to put a glue dot there and attach it. That is going to go here. Okay, you can trim this later if you want to, but I'm just trying to judge where this is all going to be glued down. Okay, this is going to have Stampin' dimensionals behind it. Let me find those. And let me go ahead and get this glued down, because I know now I have plenty of room for my sentiment and my ribbon, and we're going to be good to go. Almost out of glue. All right. Put it here. Come up. I want pretty much equidistant. It looks like about an inch maybe from top and bottom. Snowflake looks good. My little speckles look good. And now this is going to go here, and this is going to go here. So glue dots again for this. It's just easier than fighting liquid glue. And you know, with ribbon, especially this fibrous ribbon like this, glue just it absorbs it. So you probably could use Stampin' Seal Plus too, maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Now this, I'm going to trim that a little bit more, and I'm going to come up this way. Okay. Now let's put our Stampin' dimensionals on here. And we're going to have another pretty card ready to go that someone will receive. I should make another one of these too sometime. It's fun to do. I have that other piece that's drying. I'll probably make another one. Now I'm doing this with my dimensionals, being really generous. Oh, I hear Jackie going fishing. I told him that I was going to be working on a project. He goes, I won't bother you. All right, this is going to go here. Press. Okay, and now the one of the finishing touches is the, let me deal with them. Here they are. These beautiful in color jewels. Okay, so I'm going to take one of the larger ones. This is in polished pink. Love how all of our colors, how you can coordinate everything. There's no guesswork. Just do it. Okay, and then for the inside, I already have that done. I stamped the blessings to you and yours this season and in the coming year. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I put 2 there because remember we used a 4 by 5 1/4 piece to speckle the polished pink on. So let's go ahead and put that inside. You can see I'm messed up on one side, so I just flipped it over. This is Stampin' Seal. And we're going to be able to call this done. Center that. And it's ready to write your little greeting. Okay, there is our card for today, for this evening, for this premiere. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and I hope you will give some of these techniques a try. Even if don't use it on this card, you can do this on anything. And remember this little speckle thing. It's fun to do, and it adds a lot. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for being here. The details for this card with the measurements and everything will be on my blog. If not tomorrow, sometime maybe Monday. Like I said, I have family here visiting this week, so just keep an eye out for it, and I'll try to make a note here with the link to it. So have a great evening or a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.